months after Corteva Agriscience named Nairobi as its regional hub for Eastern, Central and Southern African countries. And finally, American pharmaceutical firm Johnson & Johnson has announced a $1.5 billion fund for social enterprises in the health sector to expand their businesses. Anthony Gitao, the firm's director for global community impact sub-Saharan Africa, said that $15 million fund was allocated from their foundation and is aimed at funding businesses in the health sector that are looking to improve their innovations. Now, diving right into the business news today, we've got Egypt, and it has built a pilot 3.6 billion Egyptian pound model industrial furniture park near the Nile Delta city of Damietta. Now, however, the park may face an uphill battle, luring away craftsmen from traditional workshops in the old city. Take a look.
Egypt has built a multi-billion-pound furniture city near the mouth of the Nile, a pilot for a series of industry mega hubs it wants to throw up across the nation, but it could face a struggle to populate it. The sprawling industrial park, inaugurated in December, is 10 kilometers long outside the port city of Damietta, along the center of Egypt's once flourishing but now languishing furniture trade.
You've seen our neighborhood here. Our houses are above our workshops. There is not a worker among us who will go to that city over there. They should have first come and consulted the people here, the craftsmen, those who understand what the work will be like. But they, that is the government, made a workshop that is 50 square kilometers. How am I supposed to employ 30 craftsmen inside that space?
The aim of the 3.6 billion pound project and the other planned specialized parks is to boost economic growth and create jobs badly needed in the country, where about a third of the 100 million people live in poverty. However, only 400 of the 1,400 newly built workshops have been sold so far. Owner of the carpentry workshop in an old neighborhood of Damietta, they should have first come and consulted the people. However, Osama Saleh, chairman of the state investment firm Ayadi, which helped lead the project, pointed out that it was still early days, that he said that the new city hoped to sell the remaining 100,000 workshops over the next 2 years and predicted the city would create at least 100,000 jobs within 4 years.
Those who suffer today are the smaller businesses, the ones who make everything with their own hands. These are the ones who need the attention in the coming period. We need to know how to develop them, how to make use of the added value that they put into their products. They use product items that are unique around the world.
The new park is a far cry from Damietta's traditional furniture quarter, where workshops lie in a dense warren of narrow lanes, often directly under the apartments of their owners and amid the din of table saws and machine latches. The furniture city stretches from 1.3 million square meters, filled with beige and orange concrete workshops trimmed with aluminium sidings, resembling a car garage built side by side.
The idea for the furniture city came after the presidency and government's initiative to rely more on local production and decrease reliance on imports, while increasing exports to international markets. So the government began to focus its attention on areas with industrial clusters, such as the Damietta Furniture City and the Arobiki City, which manufactures leather.
The furniture industry has been on the decline for some 20 or 30 years now, hit by changing taste and cheaper imports from Turkey and China, as well as depressed consumer spending. The park remains populated, however, and during a visit, Reuters saw only a handful of workshops up and running. Saleh said most of the old city's 30,000 workshops would remain in place, and the new city would help them with advice and training.
لكن اللي بيعاني النهارده ومتأثر القطاع بتاع الصغيرين قوي اللي هو
We will contest the product first in Egypt and then abroad. We will improve the product, develop the design and maintain its high quality. Then we will also locate sales and marketing outlets inside Egypt and abroad.
اللي هو بيعملها للمنتج لان احنا بنطلع حاجه محدش بينافسنا تقريبا فيها في العالم كله.
By building the industrial park, the government hopes to aid growth by reigniting success in the furniture industry.
Right, now moving on and crossing over to Nigeria. Now, when Nigerian sculptor Adeyemi Emmanuel saw an opportunity to turn discarded plastic waste into fashionable pieces, he began collecting bits of discarded waste and within days had created a backpack. He now runs a brand that makes fashion and home accessories in Lagos. Take a look.
The sight of discarded plastic bottles and bags floating in the open drains of Nigeria's megacity Lagos moved visual artist Adeyemi Emmanuel to despair. So last year, he began collecting bits of discarded plastic and within days created a backpack. Seeing a way to raise environmental awareness in fashion-conscious Nigeria, in November, he launched a line of bags, wallets and gift boxes made from plastic waste called Eco. Everything from rucksacks to money pouches are covered in chips of used plastic which Emmanuel collects by hand, primarily from craft workshops such as leftover plastic from picture frames. He then spray paints on them. The bags sell for between 8,000 and 30,000 naira via Emmanuel's Instagram account where his creations are seen and shared by his 10,000 followers.
I started experimenting with them, and I just keyed my whole mind into just creating something out of that waste. So I just played around with it, and I just found myself making it as chips and laying them on the bags, and I felt it made sense, and other people too should have it.
Plastic waste in the form of discarded bags, food and drink packaging is ubiquitous in Lagos, a city of 20 million people where dropping litter is commonplace. The city's waterways lead into the Gulf of Guinea, promoting concerns about the amount of plastic entering the sea. Last week, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, launched a plan to tackle marine litter and plastic management. It said Nigeria was ranked the 9th country in the world for pollution of marine environments. Lawmakers are also drafting a bill aimed at outlawing the production of plastics in Nigeria.
In Nigeria here, it's a major challenge because everybody wake up in the morning, Monday morning especially, everybody are quick to just leave the house and you buy a bottle of Coke and your gala, you finish it and you don't want to keep dirt on you, throw it out. Most people do that because at times I do take the public transport and I just for me to see that action, I'm like, okay, more source of inspiration from like, let me just keep doing this thing. I think I'm doing the right thing.
Plastic bags are already banned elsewhere in Africa. Kenya has one of the toughest laws in the world with the production or sale of plastic bags punishable by up to 4 years in prison or fines of $40,000. But in Nigeria, where the median age is 19 and the cultural influence of artists can be seen in the success of the Nollywood film industry and Afrobeats music scene, Emmanuel saw fashion as a way to make an impact. He wants to demonstrate that plastic can be used more than once. He wants buyers of his products to walk away with an attractive bag that is around 80% made from waste products, but also gives them a sense of purpose and that there is action being taken to free the earth of plastic. Environmental activist Doyinsola Ogunye said Nigeria has several environmental laws that are simply not being enforced.
People pay attention, to these sectors, and if they are paying attention to these sectors, it means that they are paying attention to the urgent issues of, climate change, climate crisis, and also plastic pollution. So when the art and the fashion sector are moving their, what would I call it now? When they're moving their radar to these issues, it's actually raising more awareness for it.
Even the people that give these materials to me encourage me, always want me to just come and pick it and just go away with it, because I'm relieving them off some few change that would save them and keep their business still going, because they're just, at the end of the day, it's all joy. It's all joy. And even on my part, and I'm still making money from waste, come on. It's a big joy for me too still.
Raising awareness via art and fashion was a step in the right direction. Emmanuel, who makes all his bags himself, hopes his products start conversations, and he is proud that they make money. Alan Owino, TV47.
Right, thank you so much for that story, Alan. And indeed, those bags are quite interesting, isn't it? Now, a South African startup is hoping to cash in on a growing global taste for canned wines as a lighter, more convenient alternative to bottles. We have this story for you today. Let's get more.
Have you ever fancied a celebratory tipple after a hike, but you're worried about lagging a wine bottle up the mountain? Fear not. A South African startup has launched a range of canned wines and is looking to expand. Based outside the country's touristic hub, Cape Town, Ankani hopes to cash in on a rising global trend where millennial wine lovers are moving away from bottled wine. Its cans of premium red and white wines are the first to be certified by South Africa's Wine and Spirit Board and are also vegan friendly.
The initial response has been overwhelming. It's going really well, so we're within the next few weeks or a few days will be available countrywide in Pick n Pay stores.
Ankani is first targeting a domestic audience before taking a crack at the lucrative export market, where it could win a slice of the industry that is expected to be worth $400 billion by the end of 2023. Now, South Africa produced more than 820 million liters of wine in 2018, making it one of the top 10 producers globally. It recorded a total sales of about 25.5 billion rand in 2018, according to an industry body. Vlok told Reuters he and his colleagues had been working on the concept for Ankani for the past 2 years, including researching the US market, where canned wine is already well established.
We're very close to exporting to the US, where this market is well established, and I think the European market is especially responsive to our the benefits that we add on our product, which is no sulfur added and vegan friendly. That together with the eco-friendliness of packaging in a can, which far lowers your carbon footprint of the consumer.
Ankani sells its 250 ml aluminium can for around 40 rands each, and Merlot grapes varieties.
Very eco-friendly and eco-conscious. That's a big thing that especially the millennials are after. And also it's very convenient. I mean, if you're a group of friends, each one can just get handed a can, and I think that's very nice.
It expects to launch a Pinotage Rosé soon.
If you serve the wine out of a glass bottle and you pour it into a glass, it will definitely taste different than if you serve it and you maybe drink it out of the can. Absolutely. But the core thing is, you're not trying to replace, I think, existing wines that's made in a specific way and that's served in a specific way.
At the Wing Boutique Wine Bar in Paarl, which recently started stocking the canned wine, customers seemed pleasantly surprised.
Right, that's a very interesting story indeed. And again, moving on, South Africa sells more than 90% of its lobsters catch to China, but exports ground to a halt after the coronavirus outbreak hit demand. An industry association said now the effect of fishermen who depend on selling lobsters to make ends meet has been very devastating. Take a look.
The lobster catchers of South African Western Cape have become an expected casualty of coronavirus after China halted imports of the West Coast rock lobster last month as part of measures to contain the outbreak. First detected in China, the coronavirus epidemic has killed more than 2,000 people and affected tens of thousands more as its pernicious tentacles disrupt global aviation, shipping, trade and tourism sector.
Now, because of the coronavirus, has added to our problem because we are stuck now. We sit with a resource, but we cannot export, we cannot convert it to money. Government usually in other countries would step in, they would intervene, they would come in and say this is an emergency here, let us do this.
In South Africa, which has tested scores of patients but is yet to record a single positive flu result, the local lobster industry sector has been hit hard by the loss of its major trading partner, waiting for the day's catch to arrive at Winstan's slipway, used mainly by the improvised Ocean View fishing community some 40,000 kilometers from Cape Town. Brown spoke of added hardship.
What is the government to give us an extension and to let us catch weekends and to that they can also help us to get the market to export our fish because locally want to give us 125 rand a kilo. The market is gave people that bought before the coronavirus. They gave people about 340 rand a kilo. Wow. Yeah, that is a great amount that I'm going to be lost with.
Brown could expect to earn 340 rands per kg for live exported lobster. The price has slid to a mere 120 grand per kg on the local market now.
It has impact on the industry. Obviously financially the number we're looking at if things stay the same is in excess of 257 million. And that is a direct impact on right holders / quota holders. But then there's the secondary effect on the people working in the factories that are now going to be processing less lobster, the people catching it. They're going to be taking out less fish and they're on a commission basis. So our fishing communities are going to have less money in their communities.
Daniel said such as extending the fishing season should China's trade restrict permit. Reporting for TV47, my name is Winnie Maganga.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to take a short break. But when we come back, we've got an interview that we've kept in store for you to take a look at. Remember, you can keep interacting with me on